So I thought I'd do a very quick update about this. Those of you who have been following the channel for some time will know that I have constantly been talking about um, the police bill, or the crime and policing bill as it is. There are other bills, of course, currently going through in the works, and no doubt we will have to fight exactly the same way to get these also defeated as well. But the key point is that we have to fight to make sure that these are indeed defeated. Because if we don't, then unfortunately, what will pass through are some very, very draconian, very authoritarian rules and bills that are going through Parliament. Oh, well, not Parliament, but House of Lords, or should we say, coming to that point in the House of Lords at the moment, especially on voting for them. And just as we were on Monday, I put out a tweet, put out messages. Hey, um, here's an email list. Here are template letters. So it was really easy to formulate a letter. Um, here's literally multiple links to several petitions that you can go and sign. And like I say, I've said this before, it does not take a lot to get involved in politics. It really does not take a lot. It takes a lot less than you think, especially for big campaigns like this one here on the police bill. That was really important that we did defeat it. Especially the rules around protesting were very, very worrying, and almost certainly, again, if something like this bill did indeed pass, it would make it very, very hard to, shall we say, unpick it. So it is a very, very big victory, and like I say, thank you so much to anyone who did. Like I say, send a letter to the Lords, or again, you just sign that petition. Like I say, thank you so much for again getting involved. But like I say, so easy to get involved, and there's a lot of people out there who often, whenever I bring this up, are disparaging of, oh, it's pointless to write to these, oh, it's pointless to sign these. This campaign right here is yet another example of these things do work, and it's so disappointing to see so many people who support other people. I'm not going to mention any names, but who are, shall we say, big supporters of, or have a lot of talk, shall we say, about themselves being defenders of freedom of speech and civil liberties here in the UK, yet do nothing when things like this come up, and don't even lift a finger to even help. But that's just the way they are, and well, just shows you that they shouldn't really be involved in this realm. Yet they claim to be, should we say, the big fish in these particular ponds. But that's the talk for another time. Anyway, let's talk about this celebration, because this was indeed a fantastic celebration, and indeed a fantastic win for us, and keeping again these civil liberties, and again freedom of speech and freedom of protest to be free. So let's go diving into this. But before we do that, please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And like I say below, as always, there are links to support me on Patreon, or one of today's link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And there's also the YouTube memberships open as well. So as always, thank you very much to all those people who do support the channel. So let's dive into this. This comes from the London Economic. The title of Democracy Survives Another Day. Government defeated 14 times over draconian police bill. The government suffered a series of defeats in the House of Lords last night, that was Monday night, over its plans to clamp down on the very disruptive and noisy protesters. Opposition peers voted against a range of measures in the police, crime and sentencing and courts bill, which Labour are calling some of the plans outrageous. Peers have also voted to make misogyny a hate crime in England and Wales, and in another government defeat. This bill will now go back to the Commons for MPs to have their say. Ministers were defeated by 261 votes to 166, so a very clear victory there. Over the plans to give the police new powers to stop protest in England and Wales if they are deemed to be too noisy and disruptive. And peers also turned down other measures that would make it illegal for protesters to lock themselves to things, and to give police powers to stop and search people in an attempt to prevent them taking part in illegal protests. In legal protests, not illegal protests. Green peer Baroness Jones described the government plans as oppressive and plain nasty. How do you seriously think a protest is going to happen without noise, she asked. Labour's Lord Hollin called the move the biggest threat to the right to dissent and the right to protest in my lifetime, adding that it would have completely throttled protests by the suffragettes. Throughout the decades, of course, drum noises from the demonstrations against the bill could be heard in the Lord's Chamber. It comes after hundreds of activists took to the street of London to protest against the government's plans this weekend. In the so-called Kill the Bill, protesters called on the House of Lords to reject the policing bill amid concerns that it threatens the right to peaceful protest. The demonstrations took place across the UK in cities including London, Bristol, Coventry, Newcastle, Liverpool, Manchester, Sheffield, and Plymouth as well. Reacting to the Lord's defeat last night, Zara Sutton said that it wouldn't have happened if people hadn't taken to the streets and raised the alarm at the Tories' growing authoritarianism. And again, like I say, as I said before, again, if you sent an email very recently or you went and signed those petitions, again, thank you so much. Again, this does have such a big effect, more than people at least claim it does. So it was so wonderful to see people, taking up arms and getting out and getting involved. Because, like I say, signing a petition does not take very long to do. Even less time, like I say, when these big campaigns and like they create templates and all sorts of stuff. It's fantastic. So the other reactions, again, Caroline Lucas, thanking again all the people involved. Another MP here, excellent news that the government is defeated in the House of Lords. Again, someone else here, again, thanking them for killing it. Again, like I say, obviously being worried again. Now it goes back to the Commons again. We'll have to see how, again, the MP is going to react about this. But again, as Ian Dunt says, an absolutely savage night for the government and the Lords last night, the policing bill being effectively torn up and thrown back at it. Lost in 14 votes, including the new offence of locking on suspicionless stop and search and cruelty. The introduction of protest ASBOs as well. So yeah, an absolutely fantastic win. And again, a fantastic win for democracy in this country, protecting the rights to protest. Again, a very, very precious right that we should never, ever take for granted. And we should thank the fact that we won this. But of course, like I say, this does go back to the Commons. And we'll have to see what happens there. Like I say, we put in a lot of effort to, shall we say, get it overturned in the Lords. Now we have to, again, put just as much effort to see this bill well and truly killed in the Commons and put to bed once and for all. But unfortunately, if it again does pass in the Commons again, we'll have to put that pressure on again to the Lords to make sure this again does not pass. Dominic Raab making clear this morning, or yesterday morning, that the government does indeed want to continue with its ban to try and, well, essentially ban noisy protests, which is, well, completely ridiculous. Again, if you've ever been to a protest, you know full well that protests aren't just noisy by design. They're meant to be. So as always, like I say, thank you to everyone who did get involved in this campaign. And if you didn't get involved in this campaign, then don't worry. Like I say, I'm always talking about this type of stuff and how you can get involved in this type of stuff. So, hit that subscribe button, because again, I always talk about getting involved and getting active in politics. Like I say, it takes a lot less energy and time than you think to get involved. And I do talk about it on the regular on this channel. So, as always, thank you very much for everyone for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and like I say, subscribe button as well. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me a Coffee, where you can, well, buy me a coffee. And as always, thank you very much to everyone again for supporting the channel and getting involved in this. No doubt, I will sort of talk more about getting involved in the future, and again, sharing other stuff, links, protests, petitions, templates for letters writing for Lords, MPs, etc., in the future. That's something I do want to do more of in the future as well on this channel. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and well, we'll see you all next time.